Steve, of course, a lot of buzz about who is now the highest ranked defensive player in the class, Jason Moore, and the top rated player in the state of Maryland.
Yeah, you guys know me. I've been banging the drum. Get defense, get defense. You know, the snazzy quarterbacks and wide receivers are great. And you can take, 4 of each every year, I guess. But Jason Moore, 6'6", 255 pounds, from a football factory at Hyattsville, Maryland, DeMatha Catholic outside Washington, D.C. This was his top 5, which I thought was kind of interesting. Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Alabama. And Ohio State wins the pony on this one. Jason Moore going to Ohio State, and Larry Johnson wins the recruiting battle. He is number 89 overall nationally by 24/7 Sports. In the composite, he's a little bit higher, number 53 overall and number 5 defensive lineman. I'm not sure if he projects as a defensive end or a defensive tackle. 255 right now. I guess they'll get him in, put him in the blender, and see where he ends up in a few years. But he is obviously a guy just outside the top 50 in the composite, a two-sport athlete, football and basketball, has the frame and can easily add size and strength to that frame, and could play any of the 4 defensive line positions, it seems. So I want to see how he does as a high school senior this year, and then get him on campus and take it from there. But Ohio State wins an important recruiting battle there for Jason Moore. And again, you guys know me. I've been banging the drum for defensive linemen, offensive linemen, and lo and behold, this past week they got 1 of each. So there's some more guys on the hook. There's probably 6 or 7 guys, between guys they've offered and guys who made visits in the month of June, who are going to make verbal commitments over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I think they are in extremely good position on 3 guys right now. Bill Kurlick, who I work with that covers recruiting, just made a crystal ball prediction for Jelani Thurman from Fairburn, Georgia, 6'5", 230-pound tight end. And he is ranked, I think, just outside the top 100 nationally, but one of the top tight ends in the country. And again, you can't have enough big guys who can run and move and make plays. So I think he looks good for them. And 2 other guys, one from Florida, defensive lineman John Walker. He is that big defensive tackle type, 6'3", 310 pounds, ranked number 97 in the country. And he has got offers from everybody in the Southeast, Miami, Florida, also involved with him. Michigan, I think, was involved with him. It's interesting, though, that it sounds like Central Florida, believe it or not, might be the biggest obstacle to him coming to Ohio State. So an American Conference team, but it's right there near his hometown there in Central Florida. So we'll see how that one plays out. And he is supposed to announce, I believe, July 28th, it says here on my cheat sheet. So that's still a couple of weeks away. So we'll wait and see on him. Another one is Tackett Curtis, a linebacker from Many, M-A-N-Y. How do you pronounce that? I presume Minnie, Louisiana. Manny, I don't know. Manny, 6'2", 218-pound linebacker, number 81 prospect overall. So he and Walker both in the top 100, and I think both of them end up at Ohio State. He's got USC, Wisconsin, or no, rather that's not his list. He's got a number of top schools across the country looking at him. And one more name, last name I'll throw out there is Troy Bowles, the son of Todd Bowles, the Tampa Bay coach. Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State. A lot of people think he's an inside track for Georgia, but he's a national top 40, top 50 prospect at linebacker. So Buckeyes are recruiting the right guys. Now they got to close on a few of them and keep adding. The class right now, number 1 in the country, given the recent commitment by Jason Moore, just outside the top 50, but up to 18 commitments. Looks like they're going to sign 23 guys, maybe 24, 25. Last year, Ryan Day took about 5 to 7 above what he had room for, because there was obviously between February and August going to be some attrition, and they're actually a man or two under 85 as they go into the start of preseason camp here in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, that's kind of the personnel, the comings and goings right now. More comings than goings. I think going to start practice is the next big going that's going to happen at Ohio State.
Steve, you made a comment about more selection of Ohio State over the three regional powers and then Alabama as well. You got to think that for Ohio State to continue to land that caliber of defensive linemen, one of the keys is going to be the development of JTT and Jack Sawyer to show, yes, we are still the place to go to churn out the Chase Youngs, the Bosa brothers, and so forth. And maybe salvaging Zach Harrison. Of course, Zach Harrison's fine. He's going to sign a professional contract, but maybe in this final season of Zach Harrison to salvage something big for him in preparation for the NFL draft, that those three players may hold some weight in Ohio State continuing to reap those kind of recruiting yields on the defensive front.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt about that. That's a perfect way to put it, that they need those guys to play like their hair is on fire this year. One, because they haven't had that kind of important pass rush really since Chase Young left a couple of years ago. And they got to get back to impacting the quarterback. And again, people who watch this show week in and week out are going to say, oh, he's talking about the pass rush again. But it really hasn't been what it's needed to be the last couple of years. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that discerning eyes are looking at Ohio State and saying, you got to get back to impacting the quarterback. And it's not even necessarily sacking the quarterback. It's getting the ball out of his hands, make him make a mistake, because the less time that you allow a quarterback, obviously, to have time to throw, the better it is for your defensive backs in coverage, your linebackers in coverage. They can do their job a little bit better. Ohio State hasn't had any turnovers to speak of. Fumbles are kind of a thing that they happen when you have people swarming to the ball, but interceptions are all a byproduct of pressure on the quarterback and make him uncomfortable and put the ball in places where he doesn't want to put it by accident even, and your guys are there to turn the tide. So to me, you can't say it any plainer than that. They've got to play better, got to coach better, and need to have more results out of those edge players, I think, this coming year.